The starship Aurora descended slowly through Zithera's thick, colorful atmosphere. Outside the windows, the planet stretched in endless green valleys and sparkling blue rivers. Towering trees with glowing leaves swayed gently in the wind, and strange creatures moved gracefully between them. The human crew pressed their faces to the glass, amazed at the beauty and life around them. "Welcome to Zithera," said a calm, melodic voice over the ship's intercom. The humans turned to see the Zitherian guide standing near the door. Zitherians were tall, elegant beings with smooth, translucent skin that shimmered like liquid silver. Their eyes were large, golden, and full of curiosity. Captain Elena Morales stepped forward, her heart pounding with excitement. "Thank you. We're honored to be here. Our team is ready to explore and study your planet." The Zitherian nodded. "We have long awaited the arrival of humans. Your species is unusual. We are curious to learn from you, and we hope you will learn from us." The humans exchanged quiet smiles. They had heard stories of Zitherians' advanced technology and peaceful societies, yet no story had fully prepared them for the reality of this alien world. After the formal greetings, the humans stepped onto the soft, mossy ground of Zithera. The air smelled fresh, almost sweet, carrying hints of flowers and minerals. Their boots sank slightly into the earth, and small, glowing insects floated past them, lighting their path. Dr. Raj Patel, the team's biologist, bent down to examine the plants. "Look at this," he said. "These leaves are bioluminescent. And the structure, it's like nothing I've ever seen. The cells must be highly complex." The Zitherian guide named Lirith observed him with interest. "Yes, Zithera's life forms are advanced in ways you may not understand, but we believe your species will find them fascinating." As the humans spread out to explore, excitement filled the air. They collected soil samples, studied the flora, and observed small creatures that moved with incredible speed and intelligence. Captain Morales and her team were careful, following protocols to avoid disturbing the delicate ecosystems. Yet even with all precautions, the humans could not escape the reality of their own fragile biology. Unlike Zitherians, humans were not naturally immune to many microbes. Their skin, lungs, and immune systems, though strong in their own way, had evolved on Earth and were not prepared for Zithera's alien microorganisms. Dr. Patel was the first to notice something wrong. As he crouched to collect a sample of a bright blue moss, he suddenly felt dizzy. His hands shook and his vision blurred. He tried to stand but stumbled. "Elena, I don't feel right," he managed to say before collapsing onto the moss. The team rushed to his side. Captain Morales knelt beside him, checking his pulse and breathing. "He's alive," she said, trying to remain calm. "But this is unexpected. Nothing like this has ever happened before." Lirith approached, concern evident in his golden eyes. "Humans do not respond well to Zithera's atmosphere?" he asked. "We did not anticipate this. Your biology, it is fragile?" Dr. Patel gasped for air, clutching his chest. "Fragile, but adaptable," he whispered. "Humans had survived ice ages, plagues, and disasters on Earth. But their strength often came at a cost. They were vulnerable in ways the Zitherians could not imagine." The other team members worked quickly, using portable medical scanners. The readings confirmed their fear. Dr. Patel's body was reacting to something in the environment, a microbe harmless to Zitherians, but dangerous to humans. Captain Morales looked at Lirith. "We need isolation and we need help. Can your medical team assist?" Lirith's expression was troubled. "Our healers know little of human biology. We assumed your species would withstand Zithera as we do. We were wrong." For the first time, the humans felt a pang of vulnerability. They had arrived on this beautiful alien world with excitement and hope, but the reality of their biology had already shown them limits. It was not a matter of courage or intelligence. Some things were simply beyond their control. The team moved Dr. Patel to a temporary medical tent. As they worked to stabilize him, Captain Morales gathered her crew. "Listen," she said firmly. "We are humans. We adapt, we survive. We will figure this out. But we must be careful. Zithera is unlike Earth, and our bodies, our very biology, can be both our weakness and our strength." The crew nodded, determination shining in their eyes. They were explorers, scientists, and problem solvers. Yet a new respect for their own bodies had begun to form. They realized that survival on Zithera would require not just intelligence, but understanding, caution, and cooperation. Outside the tent, Zithra's sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant orange and violet. The gentle glow of the trees and rivers gave the planet a serene beauty, but beneath that calm challenges waited. The humans were strangers in a world full of wonder and hidden danger. And somewhere deep in the mossy forest, the unseen microbes of Zithra thrived. Unaware of the battle they had already begun against the planet's newest visitors, the medical tent was quiet except for the low hum of machines and the anxious whispers of the human crew. Dr. Raj Patel lay on a narrow cot, his breathing shallow but steady. Outside, the vibrant jungle of Zithra glowed under the soft light of its twin moons. The team had hoped that the planet would be a place of discovery and wonder, but now it was a source of danger. Captain Elena Morales paced back and forth, thinking fast. "We need to understand what caused this," she said. "It's not just Dr. Patel. Zithra's environment is different and our biology reacts in ways they can't predict." Lirith, the Zitherian guide, floated near the entrance of the tent. His golden eyes were wide with concern. "We have never seen your kind react this way," he admitted. "On Zithra, all life is resistant to what you call bacteria. Your species, it is delicate." "We did not realize," Dr. Patel stirred, coughing lightly. "Delicate?" "Yeah," he rasped. "But we also adapt. Our bodies, they can change if given the right time and support." The Zitherians listened closely. For centuries, they had studied every living thing on their planet. Yet humans were unlike anything they had encountered. Their skin was soft, their lungs required precise oxygen levels, and their immune systems, while clever, could be overwhelmed by things that were harmless to Zitherians. Dr. Maya Chen, the team's doctor, knelt beside Patel. "We need to isolate ourselves from anything that might carry microbes," she said. "Food, air, water, everything has to be controlled. Zitherians are beautiful and strong, but our bodies cannot handle their environment the same way." Lirith looked troubled. "We thought humans could explore as we do," he said softly. "Your biology is different. We did not consider that your species could be affected by our planet." Elena nodded. "That's our problem to solve. But we need your help, Lirith. You know this world better than anyone." Over the next few hours, the human team set up a secure area. Air filters hummed as they cleared the oxygen of microscopic particles. Water was purified and tested, and food was sealed to prevent contamination. Dr. Patel rested, though his face was pale, and every breath seemed like a small victory. Outside the tent, Zitherians watched with curiosity. To them, humans were fragile yet fascinating creatures. They moved slowly, using machines and careful procedures to survive in an environment that was natural to them. Zitherians had never needed such precautions. They had assumed humans, with their intelligence and technology, would be naturally resilient. But now they saw that human resilience was different. It was not about strength or speed. It was about thought, creativity, and determination, the ability to find solutions in situations where the body itself could be a threat. As night fell, the first signs of trouble appeared. Another human researcher, Marcus Velas, sneezed violently and grabbed his stomach. Panic spread among the team. "Marcus!" Elena shouted, rushing to him. "Sit down, stay calm." Marcus shook his head, pale and sweating. It's happening too fast." "I don't understand." Dr. Chen examined him with the portable scanner. "It's the same reaction as Patel," she said. "The microbes are everywhere, air, soil, even on plant surfaces. Zithra is teeming with life that our bodies cannot handle naturally." Lirith floated closer, his voice almost whispering. "We did not know. We thought your kind would adapt as we do. Your fragility, it is unlike anything we expected." Elena's jaw tightened. "Our species survives differently," she said firmly. "We are not naturally immune, but we think, we experiment, we adapt. That is how humans survive and thrive." The crew worked through the night. They created protective suits, developed makeshift barriers, and isolated contaminated materials. Dr. Patel's condition stabilized, but Marcus still struggled. The humans realized that their biology was a puzzle, fragile in some ways, yet capable of extraordinary adaptation if guided carefully. By dawn, Zithra's twin suns bathed the forest in light. The humans had secured a small safe zone and understood a harsh truth. Survival here required constant attention, respect for their own bodies, and clever use of technology. It was not enough to be strong or fast. They had to be smart, careful, and resourceful. Lirith observed from the edge of the clearing. Your species is remarkable, he said finally. You adapt in ways we cannot predict. You are fragile, yet you survive. Perhaps that is your true strength, Elena nodded. It is, and we need that strength now more than ever. Zithra is beautiful, yes, but it is also dangerous for humans. If we do not respect our own biology, we will not last long here. As the humans prepared to venture out again, cautiously and under strict precautions, they felt a mix of fear and determination. Their biology had shown its limits, but it had also revealed a hidden power, the power to adapt, to improvise, and to survive in ways no one expected. The forest of Zithra shimmered under the morning light, full of life, color, and unseen threats. The humans took their first careful steps into the jungle, knowing that every breath, every touch, and every bite of food could be a risk, but also a chance to prove the extraordinary potential of the human body. Somewhere deep in the glowing trees, the microbes of Zithra waited, invisible and indifferent, and the humans, armed with intelligence and determination, were ready to face them. The humans had settled into their small, secure zone, but the tension in the air was thick. The jungle of Zithra was beautiful, but it hid dangers that no one had expected. Dr. Patel had recovered enough to speak, but his face was still pale. Marcus Velas, on the other hand, was weak and trembling. The team realized that Zithra's microbes could strike quickly, and they could not waste a single moment. Captain Elena Morales gathered her team. We need to act fast. This is more than just a small infection. If we do not understand Zithra's biology and how ours reacts, we could lose more people. Dr. Maya Chen nodded. I've never seen anything like this. Our immune systems are fighting constantly, but the microbes are adapting faster than we can. We need to find a way to strengthen our bodies, maybe even work with Zithria's natural resources. Lirith hovered nearby, curious and cautious. On Zithra, our healers use natural compounds to resist microbes. Perhaps your species can benefit from similar methods, though your biology is different. Raj Patel spoke from his cot. It is worth trying. Humans have survived plagues, extreme climates, and disasters on Earth. Our biology is fragile, yes, but it adapts in ways you cannot predict. We just need time and careful guidance. The team worked tirelessly. They studied Zithra's plants, analyzing which could help strengthen immunity. Some produced small spores that seemed harmless to humans if processed correctly. Others had chemical compounds that could act as medicine. The humans experimented cautiously, always testing on small samples before consuming anything themselves. Even with precautions, the environment was unforgiving. One morning, Marcus Velas collapsed again while collecting plant samples. His breathing was shallow and his skin had taken on a strange pallor. Elena and Dr. Chen rushed to him. Hang on, Marcus, Elena said, holding his hand. We're not going to lose you. Your body is strong, even if it doesn't seem like it. Dr. Chen worked quickly, combining natural compounds from Zithra with human medicine. She adjusted doses carefully, aware that human metabolism was different from Zithrian physiology. Slowly, Marcus's breathing steadied. Relief washed over the team. Your species, you are clever, Lirith said quietly. Your bodies are not naturally resistant, but your minds find ways to survive. Elena smiled faintly. That is what humans do. We adapt, sometimes in ways no one expects. Our strength is not just in our muscles. It is in our minds, our teamwork, and our determination to survive. The team realized that survival depended on speed, observation, and creativity. Humans could not rely on natural immunity alone. They had to anticipate threats, improvise solutions, and work together. Each person's biology was different, which made teamwork essential. One person's weakness could be another's strength. Over the next few days, the humans made slow but steady progress. They developed protective suits for fieldwork, filtered air and water, and learned to recognize early signs of microbial reactions in each other. They adapted their behavior to the environment, taking advantage of human traits such as stamina, problem-solving, and rapid healing. Even Zithrians began to notice. They watched as humans survived in ways that seemed impossible. While Zithrians could live in harmony with the planet naturally, humans had to create harmony through ingenuity. The aliens began to understand that human biology, though fragile, contained unexpected power that relied on adaptability and intelligence rather than innate resistance. One evening, as the team rested under the glowing trees, a storm began to rise. Rain fell in heavy sheets and wind whipped through the forest. The humans' temporary lab, partially built from local materials, began to shake. Equipment toppled, samples scattered, and the protective barriers were at risk of collapse. "Elena, the treatments!" shouted Raj, running to secure the samples. "If the storm destroys them, we will have nothing left." Elena acted quickly, directing the team. They reinforced barriers, moved the most critical samples to safer areas, and used human ingenuity to improvise solutions. Despite the chaos, their bodies responded. Muscles ached and lungs burned from the effort, but they did not give up. Humans had adapted to crises for millennia, and this storm was no different. When the storm finally passed, the team surveyed the damage. There were losses, but they had saved enough to continue. More importantly, they had learned an essential lesson. Humans survived not because they were naturally invincible, but because they could think, adapt, and work together under extreme conditions. Lirath approached Elena, his golden eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Your species is extraordinary," he said softly. "You are fragile, yet you overcome challenges that we cannot predict. Perhaps that is why your kind thrives even on worlds like this." Elena looked out into the glowing forest. "We will survive here, not because Zithra is easy, but because humans do not give up. We adapt, we learn, we endure." Somewhere deep in the jungle, Zithra's unseen microbes continued to thrive, unaware of the humans' growing resilience. But now the humans were not just reacting, they were learning, experimenting, and preparing for every new challenge. And with every step they proved that human biology, fragile as it could be, held a secret strength waiting to be unleashed. The storm had passed, leaving the forest sparkling with rain and glowing under Zythera's twin moons. The human team emerged from their protective shelters, exhausted but determined. Each step through the glowing moss reminded them of how delicate their bodies were, and how far they had come in adapting to this alien world. Captain Elena Morales led the group. "We survived the storm. That is proof we can handle Zythera," she said firmly. "But surviving is not enough. We need to thrive. We need to use our biology, our brains, and our teamwork to make this place safe for humans." Dr. Maya Chen nodded. "We have learned a lot. Our bodies are fragile, yes, but they are also flexible. We can adapt quickly if we use what we know about human biology and combine it with Zythera's resources." Raj Patel studied a small plant with glowing yellow leaves. "This plant contains compounds that boost immunity," he said. "If we process it correctly, it could help protect us from the microbes here. Humans can use their bodies in ways that are not obvious at first. We can heal ourselves, adjust to the environment, and even improve our resistance over time." The team set to work. Using portable labs, they extracted compounds from Zythera's plants and tested them carefully. They created treatments that were safe for humans and slowly administered them to the sick crew members. Marcus Veles, who had been the weakest, showed remarkable improvement. His body began responding to the new treatments, repairing itself in ways that surprised even the human doctors. Outside the secure zone, Zytherians watched quietly. They were astonished. Humans, who seemed fragile and vulnerable, were finding ways to survive and even thrive in a world that had nearly defeated them. To the aliens, it was almost magical. They had never seen a species rely so much on ingenuity rather than natural adaptation. Elena gathered her team. "We are humans," she said. "We survive because we can think, improvise, and work together. Our bodies are not naturally invincible, but our minds make up for it. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow." The next days were full of experiments and exploration. Humans used controlled exercise to strengthen their lungs and muscles, carefully timed rest to allow their bodies to heal, and natural compounds from Zythera to boost immunity. They learned to recognize the early signs of microbial threats in each other and responded quickly. Their teamwork became sharper, their communication more precise. One morning, as they ventured further into the jungle, they found a large river that glowed faintly under the morning sun. Raj Patel knelt beside it. "The water contains microbes that are harmless to Zytherians but could harm us," he explained. "But if we filter it carefully and use certain compounds, we can make it safe and even beneficial." Elena smiled. "That is what humans do. We turn danger into advantage. We learn from our environment and use it to our benefit." Even Lirath, the Zytherian guide, was impressed. "Your species is..." Remarkable, he said. You are not naturally resistant to this world, yet you create your own resistance. You adapt faster than we expected. Perhaps your biology is not a weakness. It is a hidden strength. As the humans continued their work, they began to understand Zithra in ways the Zitherians had not considered. Humans saw patterns, experimented with methods, and solved problems creatively. They were fragile, but that fragility demanded intelligence, vigilance, and collaboration. And these qualities allowed them to overcome obstacles that might have defeated a species that relied only on natural immunity. One evening, as the team rested near a glowing grove, Marcus spoke quietly. I never thought I could survive here. My body felt so weak, but now I feel stronger. Not just because of medicine or plants, but because we worked together, because we used our minds and our bodies carefully. Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. That is what it means to be human. We survive, we adapt, and we rise above challenges. Zithra is dangerous, but we are learning how to live here. And every step we take proves that humans are not just survivors. We are innovators, thinkers, and creators. The Zitherians, observing from a distance, began to change their attitudes. They had once assumed humans were fragile and limited. Now they saw humans as extraordinary. Humans could take what seemed like weakness and turn it into strength. Their biology was complex, but their minds and determination made them powerful in ways the Zitherians could not predict. By the end of Part 4, the humans had not only survived, but had begun to thrive. Their treatments were working, their bodies were adapting, and their confidence was growing. Zithra's microbes no longer felt like unstoppable threats. They were challenges to overcome with careful thought, teamwork, and the remarkable resilience of human biology. The glowing forest seemed to welcome them, as if acknowledging that these fragile yet determined creatures had claimed a place in its world. And somewhere deep in the jungle, Zithra's unseen dangers waited. But the humans were ready. They had learned that the greatest strength of their species lay not in invincibility, but in intelligence, adaptability, and courage. The humans had come a long way. From the moment they first stepped onto Zithra, they had faced threats their bodies were not naturally built to handle. The jungle's glowing plants, sparkling rivers, and alien creatures had seemed beautiful, but hidden dangers had tested their limits. Now, after weeks of careful work, observation, and adaptation, the human team was stronger, smarter, and more confident than ever. Captain Elena Morales stood on a small hill overlooking their safe zone. The twin suns of Zithra were setting, casting long shadows over the forest and rivers. We have survived, she said quietly to her team. But more than that, we have learned. Our bodies, fragile as they may be, have taught us how to grow stronger. And our minds have made all the difference. Dr. Maya Chen adjusted the last of the protective suits. We've seen our weaknesses, she said, but we've also seen our strengths. Humans can heal, adapt, and innovate. Every challenge Zithra has thrown at us, we've found a way to survive and even thrive. Raj Patel smiled as he examined the glowing plants around them. Our biology is complex, but that is what gives us power. We are fragile, yes, but we are also capable of incredible adaptation. Our bodies respond, our minds guide us, and together we become unstoppable. Outside the human safe zone, Zitherians observed quietly. The aliens, who had once seen humans as delicate and vulnerable, now watched with admiration. The humans had not only survived Zithra's hazards, they had learned, adapted, and begun to turn the environment to their advantage. They had shown that human biology, though delicate in comparison to Zitherians, was full of hidden strength when combined with intelligence, creativity, and determination. Lirath, the Zitherian guide, approached Elena. Your species has exceeded our expectations, he said. We assumed humans would struggle endlessly against this world. But you have adapted, innovated, and survived. Your biology, fragile as it is, has proven to be extraordinary. Elena smiled. That is what humans do. We face challenges that seem impossible, and we find a way. Sometimes it is not our strength, but our cleverness, our teamwork, and our persistence that save us. That is who we are. As the sun set fully, casting the jungle in soft violet and silver light, the team prepared for a new stage of their mission. They would continue to explore Zithra, study its ecosystems, and share knowledge with the Zitherians. But now they did so with confidence and respect, for both the planet and for their own remarkable biology. The humans began teaching the Zitherians about their unique biology. They demonstrated how controlled exercise could strengthen muscles and lungs, how diet and certain compounds could improve immunity, and how careful observation of their own bodies could prevent illness. Zitherians, who had once assumed humans needed constant protection, now listened eagerly. Raj Patel explained, "Our species survives through adaptation. We are not invincible, but we can improve ourselves. Our bodies are fragile, yes, but they are also capable of extraordinary things when we understand them." The Zitherians marveled at the humans' explanations. They realized that human survival was not just about physical resilience, but about intelligence, creativity, and determination. Humans were not weak. They were different, and that difference made them remarkable. Meanwhile, the humans themselves had learned to respect their own limits. They knew that ignoring biology could be fatal, and that every step in Zithera's jungle required awareness, preparation, and caution. But they also knew that their species could turn weakness into strength, danger into opportunity, and fear into achievement. Marcus Velez, who had been the first to struggle with Zithera's microbes, now stood tall beside his teammates. "I feel stronger than I ever imagined," he said. "Not just in my body, but in my mind. This planet tried to defeat us, but we didn't give up. We adapted. We survived. We thrived." Elena placed her hand on his shoulder. "That is what it means to be human," she said. "We face impossible odds and find a way. Our biology is complex, our minds are powerful, and together we can overcome almost anything." The final days on Zythera were full of cooperation, discovery, and mutual respect. Humans and Zytherians worked together, learning from each other's strengths. The aliens admired human determination, while humans learned to respect the delicate balance of Zythera's ecosystems. The partnership between the two species was stronger than ever, built on understanding and admiration. In the end, humans had earned more than survival. They had earned respect. The Zytherians now saw humans as equals, remarkable for their intelligence, adaptability, and courage. And humans, for their part, had proven that fragility was not weakness, it was a challenge to overcome, a test that revealed the true power of their species. As the human team prepared to continue their exploration, the jungle of Zythera shimmered around them. The air was full of life, the rivers sparkled, and the glowing plants stretched endlessly. Yet the humans walked with confidence, knowing that they had faced danger, learned from it, and adapted. Somewhere deep in the forest, Zythera's unseen microbes continued to thrive, but the humans no longer feared them. They had learned to work with their biology, respect their limits, and use their intelligence to survive, and that was the true strength of humanity. Fragile yet brilliant, vulnerable yet unstoppable. The twin moons rose in the sky, casting silver light over the humans standing tall in the glowing forest. They had come to Zythera as strangers, tested by a world they barely understood. Now they were survivors, learners, and pioneers. The planet had challenged them, and the humans had risen above, earning a place in Zythera's story and proving that human biology, when combined with ingenuity, was a force to be respected.